Hello from Portland, Oregon, which is possibly the most boring city in America. I love us, Portland. We're weird, but the rest of the world needs to understand that nothing is going on here. My phone has been blowing up since late yesterday when our mayor and senator and congresswoman and a number of other folks had a press conference announcing that the Trump regime was sending federal troops here, federal agents. It actually wasn't really clear at the time who Trump was intending on sending. And let me just say really quickly, thank you to all of the folks who messaged me, especially this morning. It was just like an inundation of people who are really concerned. Are you safe in Portland? Is everything okay? Are you afraid there are going to be checkpoints? Are you worried about your family and your neighbors? Y'all, there's nothing fucking going on here. I just want to take a couple of moments and clarify what is going on here, what Donald Trump is attempting to do, and why it's not going to work. Right, so this was this morning at the request of Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. I am directing the Secretary of War, Pete Kegsbreath, to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Right, so John is right here. As a resident of Portland, it's impossible to capture how unhinged this is. We are a low crime city, and the ICE protest siege consists of one auxiliary ICE office that normally has at most a dozen weirdos debating about what performance art they should use to block a single driveway. I saw CNN reporting that Donald Trump was sending agents to protect the ICE facilities in Portland. Like, y'all do a little fucking diligence. There's one ICE building in Portland. It doesn't house any detainees. It's very small, and the protests are literally like, again, I don't want to call them weirdos, y'all. They are people who earnestly want to protect immigrants. There has been an organized, nonviolent protest. Yeah, sure, there have been a couple of times that like logs were dragged in front of the driveway. There's been some spray paint. This is not a war-ravaged city, y'all. It's like 40 feet of sidewalk in front of a boarded-up ICE building where people are having prayer vigils and reading poetry and laying flowers, and some young kids who are unarmed are being attacked by ICE. And when I say attacked, the violence has been unreal, and it is instigated by ICE. That neighborhood has been gassed on a nightly basis with tear gas, pepper balls, green gas, and some unknown orange-red gas. Chemical warfare in a residential neighborhood next door to a school against like a dozen, 24 maybe, unarmed protesters. You don't have to take my word from it. The Portland Police Bureau, under oath in court, said that the federal agents, ICE, are instigating the confrontations with protesters outside of the ICE building. It is ICE that is starting shit against unarmed protesters. If the Portland Police Bureau is having to admit that in court, yeah, you understand? So as soon as Trump put out this post, I was absolutely flooded with messages. That's why I'm like just now getting around to filming this. I've been very active on Facebook and Blue Sky today, trying to take the temperature down because people are freaking out. Even people in Portland are freaking out. Really, y'all, this should not surprise you. He's angry about the fact that Portland is trying to enforce the code against the ICE building. He also failed in LA. He failed in DC. He failed in Chicago. He's failing in Memphis. He's trying, right? He's going to city after city after city and saying, please, you guys, please start rioting. Please commit violence. Please have a big, horrible riot where you smash everything so that I can declare that there is a rebellion and I can invoke the Insurrection Act. Like, please. Nobody is taking the bait. So he tries for a little bit in a city. He fails utterly. He withdraws all the troops after spending millions and millions and millions of dollars. He withdraws the troops and he tries again in another city. He is so desperate, absolutely pathetically desperate for any city to take the bait and start a riot. And nobody's giving it to him. In Portland, Oregon, we are not going to give him what he wants either. I saw a post on Instagram today that was like, everybody who says don't take the bait is already taking the bait. No, you don't understand what don't take the bait means, obviously. It means you don't play into the regime's hand. You don't do the thing that they want. There are two things that the Trump regime wants, right? When Trump does shit like he's threatening to do and trying to do in Portland, Oregon today, I want you to hear this. The regime is desperate for us to either commit violence or to cower and obey. Either way, y'all, either way, it will suit Trump's ends. And so we must give them neither. We must subvert their paradigm, and we must engage in nonviolent resistance against the regime. Do not be foolish enough to give Trump what he wants. We don't start a riot, and also we don't cower and obey. We continue to exercise our First Amendment rights. We continue to resist, and we do not fucking take the bait. Look at what LA did. Look at what DC did. They didn't fall for it, and he failed and had to leave. If we continue to do the same here in Portland, he will also fail here. Like, we get a chance. We in Portland, Oregon get a chance now to show the whole world that Trump is yet again a loser. And not just that, he's unhinged, he's extreme, he's brutal. He is spouting rhetoric that is absolutely hyperbolic, saying there's a war in Portland. What? Yeah, okay. Don't prove him right, y'all. Instead, we engage in tactics like showing the world what it actually looks like here, not putting any fuel on his fire, by making sure that when we demonstrate, when we have a rally, when we have a march, we are committed to nonviolence. I could talk about this all day long. I know that there's like a handful of young folks in Portland who are just like real anxious to start shit. Somebody said in my comments earlier today, yeah, there's a handful of white kids in Portland who are really anxious to play cosplay revolutionary or whatever. And I think the majority have to be really aware that there are shit stirrers, there are agent provocateurs, there are just young people who really want to watch the world burn, or who are just like really angry and are not educated enough about the fact that nonviolent resistance deprives the regime of what they want. It deprives them of being successful here. Now, I want to make it really clear, there's not actually much to resist against right now. At the time I'm filming this, less than 2 hours ago, this is what it looked like at the ICE building. There were 5 people, because again, the ICE facility is next door to Tesla. So there were actually Tesla protesters, and nothing was happening at the ICE facility. There's no federal agents there. You can see it's a teeny little building that's all boarded up. Now, after dark, a flood of ICE agents come out and terrorize the neighborhood, shoot a bunch of green gas and tear gas all over the place. Again, Portland police said it is ICE who is instigating shit with the nonviolent protesters who are down there every evening. But as of right now, Donald Trump said he was sending in a show of force into Portland, and there's nothing happening at the one ICE facility in Portland. Also, nothing happening downtown either. One of my friends posted this earlier. I believe this graffiti is in Portland. To complete their plans, all they need is your violence. Right? We are not going to give them what they want. We get a chance now, Portland, to show the world how extreme and ridiculous and false Donald Trump and his narrative are. Yeah, he is a would-be dictator trying to do dictator shit. He is growing increasingly desperate as his popularity is tanking, as he realizes there are cracks all over the regime and public opinion is very rapidly building against him. Portland, we are better than allowing Donald Trump to provoke us into giving him what he wants. We get a chance now to make him look like a right fool and join the ranks of LA and Chicago and DC in successfully disrupting his narrative and turning the public against him more and more. If our goal is to stop fascism, the best way we can do that is to continue to build huge mass opposition. The American people are swiftly turning on Trump, and when they get to see how extreme and nonsensical he is, how he is absolutely unhinged, how he is sending federal troops in to terrorize a peaceful city where like nothing is going on. Folks are trying to walk their dogs and, drink their IPAs. Get a chance to deprive him of a victory here. Please don't be scared, y'all. Please don't be scared. We're going to protect our neighbors. We're going to look out for each other. And we get a chance here to create a huge backlash for Trump. Portland gets to join the ranks of other cities that are absolutely eroding support for the regime, that are making his actions come back to bite him in the butt. But we all need to understand the assignment. We need to know that we must deprive him of what he wants to do here. We are normal, everyday Americans, and we will not be intimidated by Trump's authoritarian attempts. And likewise, we will not be baited into rioting, committing violence, or giving him a goddamn thing that he wants. We understand the assignment, and so Trump will fail here.